Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip. Welcome to That's a Shoot, my weekly show where I'll talk about wrestling. We're gonna put over some good things, we're gonna bury some bad things, and then we're gonna go into our main topic. And there's a part of me that wants to, excuse me, part of me that wants to jump right into the main topic, but we're gonna continue it on, and we're gonna start with put over and bury. So let's go ahead, start the show, and let's start with put over. And we got to first thing we got to put over is the AJ Styles Ricochet match on Monday Night Raw in the main event segment. I thought it was fantastic. These two do some great, they did some great stuff. Told a great story. Loved the ending. I'm not sure where they're going with the whole Good Brothers and AJ Styles and all of that. All this. I don't know where that's actually headed, but I'm very intrigued at what they're going to do with that. And some people were like, well, maybe Ricochet didn't need to lose, because, he just won the title and everything like that. But I think that, when you have AJ Styles putting them over at the end of the match like he did, I think that negates any negative that the loss would take. So that was some good stuff there in that match. The next one, it's got to be R-Truth, right? I mean, this is almost a weekly thing where I put over just the stuff that R-Truth does. And when he was on Miz TV, and he was just hilarious, and it was just the greatest thing in the world. And R-Truth is the rest of the stuff from Raw has just been fantastic. And R-Truth, he's just been the best thing to happen to this. They've done the right thing by putting the title on R-Truth, because hilarity has ensued. If this was what they wanted, this is what has happened, and it has just been fantastic. So congratulations to WWE and R-Truth. It has been just fantastic content since they created that 24/7 title. And the last thing, the biggest thing you have to put over is Seth Rollins defending the WWE, and I have just loved this. There are just so many people out there, and I've said this time and time again. I don't think these are not so-called WWE fans. These are not. These are people who are either former WCW fans who started watching WWE because WCW folded and they wanted to watch WWE, and they wanted to, they had to get their full of wrestling, because things like Ring of Honor and things like um uh T and Impact and other wrestling organizations may not be on it may not be necessarily on you know television stations that they can get and they can watch, so they have to watch WWE, at least in their opinion, to get their fill of wrestling. Or these are wrestling fans who are just these are wrestling fans who are the same thing. You know, these are not WWE fans. You should not call yourself a fan of WWE. If you're not a fan of WWE, if you are always criticizing the product, if you are always like you can criticize certain things about the product, but if you say that WWE is crap, or if you say that it's not a good product, then at this point you're not a WWE fan. So you should do like CM Punk says, stop watching it and stop making it you know trying to ruin it for everybody else. Go on somewhere. And Seth Rollins has had enough of it. He had enough of it. And he's put it out on Twitter saying that this is the best wrestling in the world, and he's right about that. Um, he's getting into a little bit with Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay can, if he was actually big time, he would be like Ricochet. He would be here in WWE and not out over there in New Japan or whatever. So, you know, Will Ospreay can go on somewhere. Same thing with Kenny Omega. Same thing. If he was, if, you know, and the WWE did try to get him, you know, I will say that, but he can go on somewhere as well. Go on somewhere, you know. You are no longer important, Kenny Omega. So yeah, so you know, and he even talked about his good buddy, you know, Dean Ambrose, you know, and or John Moxley, you know, you know, going to Parker and you know burying WWE, you know, so and yeah, and I said this before. You know, he had that bullshit that he's, you know, he at the beginning he thanked WWE for making him what he was, but then they bury him. But no, if you were really grateful to WWE, you would not bury WWE the way you done, the way you have done. You know, in other, you know, not that's that the Chris Jericho podcast, but in other forms of media that he's done afterwards, he still won't stop. So the fact that Seth Rollins has gone to, you know, being WWE and he's starting to get into this. So I have enjoyed it. I have loved it because it's about time that WWE needs to get defending. So they can all go screw off somewhere. Seth Rollins is now is the guy. He's the guy, my guy. So, and if you think that that you know again that he's doing this for some other reason so that you know so that he won't get blamed for that he won't get blamed for low ratings or he won't get blamed for low attendance or any of that other bullcrap. No, he's a WWE guy. That's who he is. So Seth Rollins is the man. And now to Barry. And first, we don't have 3 berries this week. I can only find 2. So it was a good week it was always a good week for WWE. It was a great week for WWE and wrestling in general. So I only find 2 things to bury. But the first thing I had to bury is the Washington crowd chanting during the main event because they were not. It's they were because I mean this is just again like that's a great story. That's a great story. The fact that you got what's her face, and like I said it like in my review, my rapid reaction. Was Charlotte coming up be a better story? Sure, but this is still a great story, and the match was pretty good. The match told a great story, and it was fantastic, and it was and the crowd was chanting boring and CM Punk and all this other stuff. And it's just like, you know, you sit here and you just, and then chant AEW, and it's just foolishness and fuckery, from the longest time around, and it really is, and it's just. God, I mean, really, you were pretty much that Washington crowd. Sunday was a great crowd. They were a great crowd, pretty much cheering, and having great chants. Please doing the Daniel Bryan stuff. Please recycle and drive a Prius and other things. Just really, really great crowd. Seemingly, it's a really, really great crowd. And then they pissed it down the pants leg at the main event. So. Definitely have to bury the Washington crowd. Definitely burying the Washington crowd, and I'm also burying the tug of war thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. A couple weeks ago they did a thing, arm wrestling match, and now we're doing tug of wars. So I don't know. It's almost like they have run out of ideas to how to continue the feud for Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. So I guess next week or in a couple of weeks they'll actually be doing a push up challenge or a sit up challenge or something. So yeah, I didn't get that. So. And now the main topic of the show is the breaking news that happened probably about 25, 26 hours ago from now. and that is the fact that Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman have become the executive directors of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. And I think this was a shock to the wrestling world. Because I don't think people thought that this would be happening. So apparently, Vince McMahon has decided that to give Raw and SmackDown a different type of feel, you know, that he's going to let Paul Heyman be the executive director of Raw and Eric Bischoff be the executive director of SmackDown. And I guess that's because those two have run their own companies, ECW and WCW. So he kind of sees that as maybe under the internal thing of WWE. He sees Raw and SmackDown as probably like as a brand, and NXT of course is its own brand that's going to be run by Triple H obviously. So yeah, this was a shot. There was a lot of thing on Twitter talking about 90s, where talking about Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman and a lot of other things, Men in Black and Godzilla and many other things that were happening all in the 90s. So we're all going back to the 90s. And I said, don't forget about New Coke. New Coke is back too. So there's a lot of things going on right now that makes you think it is in the 90s. But we are very much in the 2000s and pretty much 2019. So we in the 2010s. So yeah, I mean this. I think this could very much have a great thing. I do worry that this will continue the brand split, which is something that I've been saying. I don't want this brand split to continue. Let's or like I said before, there's a different way to do the brand split, where you don't even have to call it a brand split or a brand extension, you know, but just have it so that there are certain people who appear on certain shows, and there are certain people that appear on both shows, right? So maybe like the undercards. The undercards would appear on both shows because you're trying to get them to the point to where they would be in the upper, the upper mid to main event level, right? So you're trying to get them there, so then you would put them on. You would put them on, so then maybe they would be on Raw, they would be on SmackDown. So then maybe you would have them, you would have like Seth Rollins wrestle Mojo Rawley, on Raw, but then on SmackDown, Mojo would wrestle Apollo Crews. You know, I'm trying to get both guys, some time. The same thing, maybe you would have like the B team lose to you know, the Revival on Raw, but then the B team would wrestle the Ascension, and then to get both of those up on SmackDown. So something like that. So hopefully something like this does happen if they're gonna keep the brand split. But I would rather actually just have the brand split completely together, thrown away. Like I said in my changes to WWE video, which by the way is up right now. You can go check that out. I've been preaching for that for the longest time that I was gonna do that video, and it's up. So that was up on Monday, so make sure you go back and check that out. But yeah, I mean this has got to be, this has got to be. I don't. Well, listen, I'm not gonna say this could be a failure because it's not. It's not a failure. It doesn't have to be a failure, but I definitely think that you know, that I at this point right now, I don't see the bad thing about this. I don't see the bad thing about this because changes can be good, and if John Moxley is right, and the WWE is creatively stale, then it might be a good thing to bring in guys like Paul Heyman, like Eric Bischoff, to have some more creative ideas and add some more creative ideas into the thing. Now they are still things are gonna run. Everything has to be signed off by Vince McMahon. So this could be just window dressing where they come with creative ideas and Vince McMahon goes no, we still have to do it like this. you know, and we still have stuff where Vince is going, that's good shit. Yeah, you farting, it's good shit. So, so yeah, I think there still could be something like that. But my guess would be that if Vince is doing this, then he's going to give, especially with him and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has said himself, he said on the Stone Cold podcast, that him and Vince just have different ways of looking at of wrestling. Different ways. The one thing that Paul Heyman prefers to probably call it wrestling, pro wrestling, whatever, and Vince sports entertainment, right? But and he says that those guys have butted heads before, and so and it was just probably more or less better for them to be employee and boss, at least or talent and boss, you know. But now he is going to be the executive director of Monday Night Raw, and is that going to is that going to be something that is going to backfire on them? So I mean, listen, it is. And let's be honest, he's been part of creative for actually a while now. He's been a little part of creative. He hasn't been like a major part of it, but he's been a little bit part of it. He's been behind the scenes now, probably for, I would maybe say, for, anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on what you hear. Because I think it was probably like Survivor Series, from what I can remember when I first remember hearing the rumors about Heyman actually being a part of the, not only being a talent, but he's actually been on the road with the guys. So that's the first thing I've heard about it. So this is something that I think could be interesting to see. I mean, what Eric Bischoff does, and he took WWE to the limit, and he almost made them out of business. So, and he doesn't even have to do this one. And one of the reasons why he's going to be a part of SmackDown is because when they go to Fox in October, he can, he's dealt with people. He dealt with the people at TNT, at Turner, so. When for WCW, so he can deal with executives from Fox. So this is going to be kind of very interesting to see what goes down now, and we'll see what changes. Now, things are not good. The things were is that they were not going to be immediate. They were going to go. Things were going to happen throughout time. So we're not going to see wholesale changes come this Monday. Changes are going to come throughout, the weeks and months until they fully take full control over both Raw and SmackDown. And apparently this has nothing to do with Vince going to XFL. So, again, like I said, I don't think this could be a bad thing. I think this could only mean this, now, could it not work? Yes, it could not work. Absolutely. Like I've just said, we've got Heyman and Vince, they butt heads all the time. Um, both Eric and Paul could come with some creative new ideas, and Vince could say, no, the way we're doing it is just good shit. I just want you to do it better, you know. Which to be very honest with you, is something that is just kind of true. You know, what they are doing is very, despite what everybody wants to say, I said that I've given my thoughts on that earlier. What they've done is okay. It's been very very okay. You know, it's good enough that it's not the shit that everybody says it is. It's actually really really good. Um, but it can be better. You can always be better. You can always be better. So I don't see anything happening with this. Now this does go to. I wonder why they went with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff and not you know obviously Triple H or Stephanie or Shane or anything like that. Well, first of all, I think Shane is just pretty much. I think Shane is pretty much just a talent at this point. I don't know if Shane has really any backstage power or anything like that. Stephanie is a chief branding officer, so she's worried about the stuff like the stuff they do with the cancer or and things like that. She wants to make sure that the WWE brand is still on point. So she probably works with that. And we know Triple H, he does a lot of stuff with talent, but I'm sure Triple H is probably, and there's been things that Triple H has been frustrated with WWE, so he probably sees it as, well, I can now just focus on NXT. And for some reason, what they've been doing now, they've been doing recently, like they've been doing like 4 television tapings immediately after their pay-per-view. They do like 4 television tapings one day, then they do 4 television tapings the next day to get them to the next uh pay-per-view. And I'm not, I'm kind of thinking, so maybe now, especially now that what they can do is that they can now do stuff where maybe they can now not do that, and maybe they can do an actual like live shows, and they can actually, or they can do tapings. They can do tapings that week or something like that, or maybe it's taped Tuesday or something like that. If you're gonna tape it, and then air it Wednesday or whatever. But maybe that might actually be a good thing. Maybe you could take. Well, I don't want to say that. I was gonna say maybe you tape the NXT show like before Raw, but maybe you don't want to. But that's not what you want to do. So. But yeah, it is very very interesting. We have to see how this all would play out. All right, y'all, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you think about my putovers. Let me know what you think about my berries, and most importantly, let me know what you think about this new revelation of Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman becoming the executive directors of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. Wow. I never thought I'd be saying that. Post your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJ Tripp, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.